Good afternoon, Valerie. It's April 2nd, 2019, and honestly, it still feels like January. I think that's kind of the subject of this video, the self-realization that I only have 2 months of high school left. This is, of course, made infinitely harder by the fact that today's a particularly busy Tuesday. I have swim, and then after that, my aunt is in from out of town, so I'm going to go catch a baseball game with her. It's going to be a good time, for sure. But until then, I have this video to make. And the problem with this video is that it's incredibly evocative of this weird nostalgic feeling that I don't know exactly how to tap back into. I have a playlist on Spotify that's kind of directly made for this, but it hasn't been working as of recently. I think it's been polluted with too many songs that just don't quite hit the mark. Really, the only song that can do it for me right now is This Is Gospel by Panic! At the Disco, which kind of makes sense. I first listened to the song in 8th grade, which was definitely a turning point in my life, and it was one of the first songs I'd heard by Panic, and it did a lot for me. So as a result of the nostalgia and all that stuff, I have a lot of philosophical questions on my mind right now. Luckily for me, the French painter Paul Gauguin put some of these questions in a very eloquent and wondrously large painting entitled, Where Do We Come From? What Are We? Where Are We Going? I've seen the painting, by the way. It was in Boston. It was quite magnificent. So yeah, 8th grade was a turning point for me. I think 8th grade is when I first realized that I kind of needed to lean into being myself, but I think that I was nowhere close to myself in 8th grade, and some of that is still true. So as a result, ask anybody who knew me in 8th grade, I was a huge asshole in middle school. I'm not going to attempt to justify any of my middle school actions. Some of them are particularly despicable, but I think it came at an important time of my life, and it was probably a result of some emotional angst and other problems that I had that I didn't know I was dealing with at the time. I'm sorry. 8th grade may have been a turning point, but it was a messy one to say the least. I think that explains a lot about right now too. Following that, freshman year was alright. Sophomore year was absolutely garbage. Junior year was surprisingly good, and senior year, well, so far, senior year has been a lie. I've been even busier than I was last year, and now I have this emotional burden on me too. Don't get me wrong, it's amazing to see everybody commit to colleges and get ready to go off and live their own lives. But for me, well, I feel a lot of pressure. I'm going to Northwestern, 99% sure of it. I don't really have a solid second choice option. It was kind of the top school I didn't realize I had. But I haven't committed officially yet, more so because my dad keeps putting all of this extra pressure on me that I don't think he knows he's putting on me. And he went to Northwestern too, which I guess makes me a dirty legacy admit. But I'd like to point out that we applied for very different things, and I also applied regular decision, which means that legacy got taken into account considerably less during my application. But I think it's more than just going off to college that's weighing me down. Senioritis hit hard. It really is a senior-only condition. You just can't have that nihilistic outlook when things still matter. The only reason I go to school now is to not get rescinded or something. I don't even know. Maybe I should skip more. Swim is also winding down. Another last in a long line of lasts that I really don't want to happen. I thought I was ready to go off to college. I really did. I told myself that what I needed was to get out of here and meet new people and get on with my life. But I'm not sure I want to leave that much. There's something overly nostalgic about the concrete walkways and the beige-tinted buildings and the gum-covered sidewalks. It's like some specter of nostalgia for a better time that never was. Quiz Bowl has mostly ended. All I have left in my high school career is HSNCT. I'm still going to play at Northwestern, though. And I started, of course, in 8th grade. It couldn't have been any other year, could it? Another last, I finished up my Eagle project and I've got the award. My last troop meeting, the Court of Honor, is coming up soon. It's going to be weird leaving that organization. I've had so many memories with those guys. We've made giant pancakes, fired off rockets without adequate safety protection, and spent way too much time at Camp Fiesta Island for our own good. It's memories like those, among many others, that I won't, or perhaps can't, forget. Maybe I'll blink and 20 years will pass and I'll be at some high school reunion or something. We'll get together and nobody will remember anything, except for me. Over-sentimentality is kind of the curse of a good memory. The ability to remember is arguably the strongest one the brain has, and I'll be stuck with memories good and bad till the end of time. I think that curse explains a lot about me too. It explains my obsession with music and with Rubik's Cubes. For me, the Rubik's Cube has always been some sort of personal symbol from whatever position I'm in. I can solve the problem I'm faced with. I'm really glad I started to pick that hobby up again. I don't really know where I would be without it, not gonna lie. And as for music, well, a song remains constant. It's a reminder that perhaps things don't change, and life moves in cycles, and a recording can transport you back in time to a lazy summer Sunday at 9 in the afternoon. Or how This Is Gospel can take me back to a simpler, vague time, yet also a singular moment, where there weren't colleges, or swim, or quiz bowl, or Boy Scouts, or friends. 8th grade changed a lot in my life. I blinked, and now I'm here. I'm gonna close my eyes again. Valerie, I'll see you tomorrow. Or in 20 years. Honestly, what's the difference?